What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, do all that good stuff. For all you guys that has already been subscribing, I know I've been heavy on doing a lot of NFL videos, but I'm definitely going to come back to doing some NBA content. Again, this is going to be an exciting time, an exciting summer, and this is where I'm going to be, doing a lot of, content, talking about a lot of NBA prospects. And I already do, college highlights. You guys subscribe to the channel for that anyway. So, this year I definitely want to challenge myself and kind of analyze and talk about a lot of these players, because I spend hours editing a lot of these players' tapes, and I'm like, I already know so much about their weaknesses and their strengths, where I could probably just come out and actually talk about these players and, give you guys perspective of, the player that you guys are getting when the draft comes. So I'm excited to do this video. So I guess my first this is gonna be my first project, guys. I'm gonna talk about Emoni Bates, Emoni Bates. I'm sorry, and then probably my next video, I'm probably gonna talk about Anthony Black. He's the point guard from Arkansas. He's probably the best guard in this year's draft. So that's gonna be my next video. And yeah, guys, it's gonna be just a train, and I'm just gonna just keep going, man. It's a journey. So today is gonna be my first video where I'm talking about Emoni Bates. This was a player that I've actually heard about him when he was in middle school. This guy was a phenom in middle school. There's been a lot of comparisons between him and Kevin Durant. Their playing style, the way Emoni Bates can pull up from three, him being lanky at 6'9". His arm span is about, I believe it's about 6'9" as well. That's what I've seen on Forbes.com. At the draft combine, they actually did a recent updated status as far as his weight size and everything. So at the draft combine in Chicago, they listed him at he's 6'8", a wingspan of 6'9", and he weighs 179 pounds. So that's just to give you guys a little bit of accuracy as far as his weight and body height. But again, what he can do on the court, he can shoot the mid-range game. This guy has the potential to pretty much be an all-around scorer. I don't really see any weaknesses. He's definitely we will get into his weaknesses in a little bit into the video, but as far as his potential is so high because of the mechanics he has. He plays like he's been in the league. He plays like he's in the NBA. Like the shots that he takes, the way he can shoot over his opponent, he just does it with ease. And I just think the way he's going to transition his offensive game into the NBA, I don't think it's going to be a challenge. And I guess one thing I could really say about that is him coming into the league. I think the biggest challenge for him will be his shot selection. That's probably one thing that I will say, because when you look at his college tape from Eastern Michigan, you see him shooting a lot of shots. And it looks like heat check shots, guys. It looks like it's heat check shots, and sometimes it could be cringy because even though they're going in a lot, some of the baskets are going in, and then there's some that's in and out the rim. So again, sometimes players, they're so confident in their game and also I will say Eastern Michigan, they didn't, he was their star player, so he had the green light to shoot a lot of those kind of shots. But him coming into the the NBA, or at least a lot of the scrimmages he will be playing in, I think a lot of NBA draft scouts are going to be seeing, okay, we know he can score, but can he distribute the ball? Can he be a playmaker? Can he play alongside, four other players and not just, him playing selfish basketball? Just because it looked like he was playing selfish basketball at Eastern Michigan, just because of the shot selections, man. Like the shots he was taking were, again, guys, when you're the star player, when you have that leverage, you can take those kind of shots, but that's not what you need at the NBA level. And I think that's something that I think a lot of NBA scouts were really looking for in those scrimmages that he has been playing. So let me even get into those scrimmages, by the way, because he did play in 2 games this previous past week in Chicago, and I'm not sure what other prospects was there that he was scrimmaging against. But in his first game, he shot 4 for 9 for 9 points. He shot 1 for 3 from 3-point range with 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal. In his second game, he shot 3 for 5 for 12 points, 2 for 3 from 3-point range with 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block. So, there were some spurts, and I think, from what reports are saying, I think there's a lot of NBA scouts that's really liked what he's shown at the Combine. And he also will be getting a couple of invites for some scrimmages and also some NBA workouts. So I'm seeing that the Charlotte Hornets, the Dallas Mavericks, the Detroit Pistons, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Portland Trailblazers are going to be, teams that's actually going to give him a workout. So he's going to get the opportunity. And I'm just glad that everything is working his way because I don't want to get too much into it, but I know when he was in Memphis, he got pulled over by a policeman and they found a gun and they found marijuana in his car, and that kind of derailed his NBA career. But it's just really good to just see that this is not going to end up being a bad story. This is actually going to be a really good story for him and how he can bounce back. And I guess one guy that's actually, I'm getting kind of sidetracked, but Mickey Williams, I believe that's his name, and that's another player that he got himself into some trouble in California. I think this happened about 2 weeks ago. He got caught with the gun, and he's in some trouble. And I just hope that Mickey Williams could really get himself together and kind of pull himself back into this NBA journey and try to make his dreams come true. But let me get back to Emoni Bates. So as far as Emoni Bates, I think from what we're seeing, he's projected to be a second round draft pick. And I guess from what I'm seeing from NBA scouts is, as far as him being in trouble with Memphis, that kind of threw him off as far as being a top draft pick. And also the level of competition is another reason why a lot of, executives are not high on Bates, is because of the competition he's played in his college career. And even in college, they weren't a winning team as well. So, his maturity and his competition of who he played in college basketball, that's also playing an effect of why he's not projected to be a first round draft pick. But looking at just looking at everything else as far as what he can do offensively, I think another big thing that I think a lot of NBA scouts is looking for is his ability to play defense. He is skinny. But I also think with his athleticism and his wingspan being, 6'9", I think he can be able to contest a lot of shots. I think defensively with the effort, I think he can block shots. I've seen a couple of clips at the NBA Combine where he was blocking shots. So it's to me, I look at it like if he puts in the effort, he can be that, because as offensively gifted as he is, again, depending on what team he goes to and how they utilize him in certain situations, if he's a liability on defense, then he's not going to get productive minutes. That's just how it goes. Especially if we're talking about the playoffs and big games, you need to have, somewhat, you got to play defense to some capacity. You can't be a cone on defense. So that's one thing that I would really hope to see more of in the next couple of weeks as far as what he can do on the defensive end, because we just see so much of his offensive clips and what he can do offensively, but what can he do defensively? And I will also say another thing that he can work on or improve on is get his lateral quickness better. Can he get himself into the pick and roll kind of offense? Just because, again, he can't get the ball he can't do what he did in college, where every time he's on the court, he's going to take all the shots. He has to be able to play a little bit of the pick and roll. And again, his lateral quickness is something that he's going to have to work at. Him being agile, him being slithery, that's something that he's going to have to work on. And just, him being 6'9", he's going to have to set some picks. What I'm saying? He's going to have to set some picks. And I think also one thing I would say is his hand. He doesn't have the greatest handle. His handle is good enough where he can drive by defenders, but I also think that his handle can get, like, when smaller guards, point guards are going to guard him, I think, a lot of the smaller guards can pickpocket him. But so I think he's gonna have to learn to play a little bit back to the basket a little bit, where he don't get, his cookies snatched. But I just wonder, can he play back to the basket, and can he really develop a post game where he can back down his defenders and do a turnaround fadeaway jumper, because he does have a good fadeaway jumper. Like I said, he has the tangibles as far as a step back, a turnaround step back, a fadeaway. He has all that, but can he play back to the basket? We haven't really seen a lot of that, and again, with his body weight, he's gonna have to put on a little bit of more muscle, a little bit more of body mass, where he can really take 3 dribbles and power dribble a little bit and use his shoulders and really get into his opponent. You know what I'm saying? You got to be aggressive. You got to be strong. So I think if he can bulk up, get to like at least 195, 190, so it's like about 10 more pounds, put on a little bit more, gain a little bit more muscle. I think he can really elevate to the next level. But I also think this, man, as far as the NBA journey, guys, his potential, I think he can be a star in the NBA. But instantly, I don't see him being a starter. I probably see him being a 6-man before he becomes a starter. But it all depends on what team he goes to. And from what it looks like, I guess to kind of wrap up this video, there's a huge possibility that he can go to Charlotte. Charlotte has 5 draft picks in this year's draft, so I think there's a high chance that Charlotte may draft him. And depending on where he goes, like a team like Charlotte, I think he can be in a 9-man rotation. I think he can get some minutes playing with Charlotte. But if he's playing with a team like Denver or Miami, I don't think he's gonna play his first year. I think he might play in the development league of the team he's playing at. I think he might play there for a good season before he actually steps onto the court and takes that next leap. But again, it all depends on what team is going to draft him. But I think if he goes to a team that's already established, I don't see him getting instant minutes. But I do think that throughout time, if he does find himself in a rotation, I can see him being a 6-man. I think finding that role, because again, he's just such an offensive skilled player where if he gets into the game, it's to get buckets, not to come in to be a 2-way defender or anything like that. I think it's just strictly to put some points up, whether it's the second unit he's playing with that just needs help scoring. That's when he can come in and contribute. So that's how I kind of feel about Emoni Bates and what he can bring to the to an NBA team. So with that being said, guys, I don't want to make this video too long. I hope I digested enough information for you guys. And I hope you guys, if you guys are listening to the video at this point in the video, be sure to like. It helps my channel grow. And this is just the first video. And my next video, I'm going to talk about Anthony Black, and I'm going to get into a lot more NBA prospects. But yeah, guys, this is Bates. I want to hear your guys' opinions. I want to hear what you guys think. What is things you think he's lacking? What do you think his strengths are? Tell me, guys, what you guys think. So until next time, have a good one. Peace.